Hi Perry, can you hear us good?
I can. It's way better.
Okay, that's good. First item on the agenda is corresponding with the sheriff and representing the sheriff in the contract. You're up.
Okay, good evening. I'm Curtis Pion. I'm the business manager for the Polk County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Schneider gives his regards. He was triple booked when I asked him about this. You never know, he might come rolling in hot. He's known to travel fast, but I think one of our deputies is getting a life-saving award, and there were a couple other events, so I was glad to be able to come up and kind of go over some things. So your current contract, as you probably are aware, you are charged for 3.5 hours per week. And that works out to 10 minutes a shift. So in looking at last year's activity reports and this year's through January, you're actually receiving about 40 minutes a shift versus what you pay for is 10 minutes a shift.
So you're saying
You're doing pretty well on your side of the ledger. And with the contract, when we did it a number of years ago, we would have estimated out, salary and benefits and those sorts of things, and we've locked in that price. But every time we open up a contract, we revise those things. So the price of a vehicle has gone up significantly. We have a lot more equipment that goes into cars now, or it's more expensive to put those pieces in the cars. So the depreciation on the vehicle and those sorts of things, every time we do this, it goes up. Hikers used to be like 6%, now for deputies it's like 12%. So all that being said, your 26-27 contract number is a little over $18,000. If we were to reopen the contract, but I'd still keep you at 3.5 hours, you'd see about a $400 or $500 increase with just that level. But if you're really wanting to get to more service and more hours, as the business manager, I'd like to get paid for the hours that we're providing, of course. But you really have to get up into like an hour a shift. And in an hour a shift, it becomes a lot more difficult for us. So right now, the deputies are coming up and they're spending dedicated time. And then the other thing that plays into the total amount of time that you're getting are the 911 calls or other calls where they're back in the community. And then additionally, anytime a supervisor is in town, they're logging time. Anytime detectives are in town, literally the sheriff, if he drives through, says, number one, I'm in Alleman, number one, I'm out of Alleman. So in that 40 minutes, roughly a shift that you're getting, some of that is the supervisors passing through, some of it is detectives, some of it is the deputies returning to town to take a call. So there are those sorts of things. I know there was a question of, having a deputy in town every day, 7 to 9 a.m. Our staffing operations really don't allow for that. That's where you're getting into a full-time person because this contract is serviced through deputies who are working territories. So for us to say, we would always have that, we're shorting the territory, and it just becomes sort of operationally something that we really can't do with the current contract. So I talked to Captain Barber a little bit about if we did go to an hour a day operationally, what does that look like? And it probably is more of they come in, they still do their dedicated run like you're seeing them, and they're really generally here about 20 minutes or so. And then they'd have to go, and then they'd have to find the time to come back. And, so we sort of get into that 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there, and that sort of thing. But even that, operationally, it gets to be a bit of an issue for our overall patrol operations. So we could certainly look at that and talk through that, but let's see, 20 hours a week in today's money, 100% of the contract, 26, 27, that's $104,000.
Jesus.
I think they did a great job as it is.
Yeah.
Who was asking for an hour a day?
Yeah.
I'm just laying out some of the
Oh, okay.
different options of, just
Okay.
sometimes the conversation is, well, we go to school, a couple hours a day, could you have a deputy always there? We would love to, but we really can't. So it's sort of where we are. I didn't realize actually that we were roughly at 40 hours a shift, 15 minutes or 15 hours a week. When I look back at the last year and a half, I'm like, oh, we're up there quite a bit. And they do spend a lot of time here. And the sheriff wants us to spend time here. And while I'm the business manager, I am not looking to nickel and dime you, and neither is Sheriff Snyder. So we want to provide you good quality service. It's affordable.
Can we just leave it the way it is? I mean, what
Absolutely.
are we paying now?
18,000.
Yeah, your current contract.
18,000, okay.
Yeah, so next year your contract's roughly 18,000.
Okay.
And I would say, in talking to the sheriff and command, I don't see operationally them telling anybody to be here less. So, well, you're paying for 3.5, you're gonna get more than that, and that's it. And I think, is it 2930, Sherry?
Yes.
I left the contract on my desk, but we're locked in. So unless you really want to open it, and you wanted to make a change in the hours and those sorts of things, we're open to doing that.
Not at all.
But it does,
So we're
it
locked
brings
in,
other things into play.
so we're locked in at this 18,000, a little over for until 2030?
No, it increases every year.
Oh,
Yeah,
it
it
increased
is.
okay.
It increases,
It was, what was it figured, like 18 or 19, 2018 or 2019?
yeah,
Those prices.
Okay.
yeah.
I remember it was 12 sometime.
Well, we've done a few of these. But yeah, the last time we did it, I believe we locked in on a 10-year, and we did our best to estimate it. Some things, and when I look at the calculations, the health insurance isn't as bad as what the estimate would say, but the salary's a lot worse, or the IPERS is a lot worse than the vehicle, and so financially, the best thing for you to do.
Leave it right where it is. Keep our head under water.
Right, and at a certain point, we may all get to a point where you really do experience growth, and you do have the means and the need, and really, we want it to be driven by need, that you do need a deputy here. And we've seen the other communities, grow, and we've been able to evolve with them. We've got a variety of ways to do that, but at a certain point, it's FTEs, and the county has historically had us moving towards 100% on those contracts where they do have FTEs assigned. So all of them are at different stages because they've all begun at different times. With you folks and Elkhart, with just the small hours, it's 100%. And that's sort of where it works. But we're glad to talk through it. We're glad to provide you any information. I've got a few things here but yeah, at 100%, if you were paying for the 43 minutes a shift, next year's money not discounted, that's $78,000. So even at that, it's real money.
I say leave it.
I like the way it is. I do too.
Yeah, I think a lot of your time is breakdown with the school. The school just brings a lot of people.
It does.
It's not so much us, it's a lot of people. I mean, we have had cities where the city's been packed the last couple of weeks.
Yep.
And that kind of stuff, so. Yeah, thank you very much. Is there any other questions, council?
No, I'm good.
Very good. You can go home.
Barry, you got anything?
I do not.
Well, we appreciate the partnership, and I appreciate the opportunity
Thank
to
you.
come up and talk to y'all. Have a good night.
Yeah,
Sure. Tell Kevin he's always welcome, or all your guys are always welcome here.
Thanks.
Thank you.
so much.
Thank you. Okay. Next on the agenda is the grant for Polk County Conservation Park. You have that in front of you. Hopefully everybody read that. And I would have a few comments. First and foremost, I want to take an opportunity to really thank my cohort here to the right. She worked really hard on this, and we've been doing this for what, 9 months, 10 months. You know, and I bug her every chance I get to where we at, you know, and finally we got it going, and I just I'm so proud of her that she took it on and wrote it up, and hopefully it's a sign of the times to come that we're not afraid of going after grants. And I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first grant that we've ever received.
That's not true.
Not true? Okay. But this is a very sizable grant. And you know, I just can't thank her enough, and I'm real proud of the work that she's done. I'll leave it up to the council. Do you have any questions on the
Has
grant?
it been approved? Did I
Yes.
miss something?
No, it was approved.
They don't have a final drawing for how they access and do that kind of stuff, do they?
Well, there's a big change at Polk County with regards to the grants from Perry Meadows. Now the money goes to the board, and then the board has their way of divvying up. So mainly it came from the board of supervisors.
We haven't received any new maps from Polk County Conservation, no.
Okay. My thought process is this. If we can do this right, we can get a bicycle and a walking path from Alleman, clear to Des Moines, if we get on this railroad deal done. My thought is to see about proceeding with the bicycle path, and maybe get some grant money there. Okay? And I like the idea of having a park and a place to put cattle. But I like to see the idea of it go on top of that hill to the east side over there. I don't think we can build a road up there, drive cars up there, the park. Now, the other question is, find out who owns that land between there and that little bit of space right there on 69. See if we can be bought to put our parking lot up there, put our building up there to have our parks and stuff, the bathroom up there. Now we got a view to the whole park, all the way down to the end.
I suggested that at the meeting that you attended with me and Bob and Polk County Conservation. I think Logan was there too. And they said they did not want to put the parking lot up there. They don't want a parking lot along the main road.
No, it won't be on the main road. They come in on the field and go across that field about a fence.
They don't currently have any intentions for purchasing extra
I'm sorry,
land.
what?
They don't currently have plans for purchasing extra land
Well,
in that area.
I don't know. But what I'm saying is, it could be a possibility, we wouldn't have so much cost on the west side if we get a grant from the bicycle path. We could fund a little better deal up there on top of the hill. Because if you ever go up on top of that hill and look out to the west, it's just beautiful. I think that'd be a selling point.
Let me back up here and I've got a few comments here. First of all, always remember that property is owned by Polk County Conservation. They bought it. It's kind of like anybody else. They have the right to do with what they want with that property. It's not like they would do that, but we would be partners with them. And the funds are limited. They have, I've heard $1 million, $1.5 million, $2 million that they eventually want to spend down on the river or the creek bottom and different things. And this grant is what we are dealing with right now. And they gave us a conceptual drawing, and that was, and it's in here, is to remove the white building and to come back in with a toilet situation and a concrete slab and a shelter and a parking area there, which access will be down the water deal. They are extremely enthused to start this project in June, I believe. And I don't want to hinder them in any way. I've been to many of the Polk County parks. Their planners, their engineers, their studiers, they will do a beautiful job on the development of that park. It's not going to be done all at once. It's just going to be steps and steps and steps. And we can always kind of say, well, we'd really like to do this, but we don't know what your master plan is for the park. So we need to find that information out. But for right now, it would be, I want to send a thank you letter to Polk County and the Polk County Conservation Board, and welcome them into a partnership to develop the first phase or first part of the park, so that the kids can go down there and enjoy it. I know there's going to be some bumps in the road as we take this on, but remember, it's not really us that's taking on. We will basically write a check, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that also, but we will write our fair share of that check, and then they will write their checks, and they will do the construction. And we basically will, anything that we can do to help them, we're going to do that. Now, when it came to the amount of money that the city of Alleman needs to come up with, there's, I know that in our budgeting process, we don't necessarily have a line item situation there to cover that. And there's some things, I talked to Nick the other day, and we could write a check in June for half of it and another check in July for the other half of it, which would not strain. He would look at the different areas of our budget, and we would be able to handle that. And it might take in June, the end of June, a budget amendment to do the figures so that we can get the figures through the state of Iowa. But for the most part, this is a situation, like I said, we will work with them, we will partner with them, but we're not going to be out there with a backhoe on concrete. This is their, and before they start, I'm sure that they will take that plan that I saw before and work with that plan and give us a little bit more information, because there's a few things in here. Well, it's a construction project, and there's a lot of that stuff is going to be done by their people. They've got a construction department, and they work well with Logan, and I think Logan is really enthused to be a part of that. So other than that, that's.
So what kind of checks you talking about cutting in June and July?
The checks that we would cut are,
That's 71,213.75.
But that won't even come out of that's already grant money, right? Or is that money that's coming out of our budget, period?
it's $71,000, our share is $71,213. So you take that in half of that would be 36,000 and change, a check in July,
grant-
or June 30th.
Yeah,
And then the other half would be later on when they require it, or say, for instance, when the project is done.
so this grant that you filed for, how much of this is it gonna cover?
Polk County's paying 71,000, and then Polk County Supervisor's paying 71,000.
We're three-way partners. And you know what, any of these grants and whatever that I've ever been associated with, they just don't hand them out. And this was a very important part of the grant process. They don't want to hand out money to ongoing expenses that would reoccur each year, like subsidizing somebody's budget. This is a one-off project, you know, and there'll be some good press on it. And you know, so this is a great thing for us. You know, it's just something I think that we all need to work with.
But what's left over from our budget from what we did,
I've asked Nick.
the 35,000, that has to come out of that, really gonna leave us nothing to.
I've asked Nick, and he said yes, we can handle it.
Well, then you're gonna have to keep this.
And Nick will.
Pocket then.
And Nick will, we don't, you know, I leave, I'm not a budget director, but I rely on Nick to be our budget director and my assistant budget director here. And I'm gonna ask them to, put together, facts and figures to the council, real soon here. And, depending upon, you know, which accounts, you know, there's a lot of our accounts that didn't get spent, and the money just rolls over to the next year.
I know that.
You know, and so that's the kind of stuff I've asked Nick.
But we haven't done payroll, we haven't done no raises for these guys yet, we haven't talked about nothing like that yet, so,
I
I
know,
mean, that's all need to be discussed before
I know.
we get a wild hair and.
First thing you need to discuss, go down and talk to people down there if they want that parking. A lot of them don't want it.
Well,
Majority of them do not want it. Both sides of that driveway, the people live in the house, they don't want traffic going on. And the people who got kids, they don't want more traffic on that street, because we don't have any sidewalks.
I would hate to.
I'm for a park.
I know, but I would hate to jeopardize this grant, because it says in here that, you know, if we pull out, they pull out, and it won't get done. Just plain and simple, And we don't want to miss that opportunity. I'm sorry.
I'm a little confused, Mike. Are we getting grant money or not?
We got a grant money for 240, what was it? We were granted $213,641. And of that money, it's split three ways. And Polk County's putting in a third, and Polk County Conservation is putting in a third,
That part I
and the city of
understand.
Alleman's a third.
What I don't understand is if we've got the grant money, why are we talking about money coming out of our operating budget?
And grant money supposed to cover it?
And does this seem,
This is like.
Polk County gave us the grant so that we could write a check to Polk County? Am I missing something here?
Yeah, what's going on? I don't
You
understand.
always
one
have to
thing.
have in-kind, and usually in the past when we've had in-kind, it was like we gave labor as our in-kind. Like if you,
Like we have Logan cutting the grass, the walk path, we don't charge them for it.
that's in-kind,
That's in
yes,
kind.
yes.
Okay, so this in kind is 71,213? I mean, grant money, I thought grant money will pay for this money. Why do we gotta come up with it?
Well, in order to leverage the money from Polk County Conservation and from Polk County, we need to put some money into the grant.
To me, we're
The
just like.
third,
paying
the
for
third, and the third, to get the project, you know, done. I just.
So is the city of Alleman receiving 71,000 or not?
No, we are going to expend $71,000, And what we get out of that is a picnic area, a bathroom, and a parking area for that park, which is the only park in Alleman. And we get kids running out there and they can use the toilets.
So we didn't receive any money,
It jumpstarts the
we
park.
received a project.
Yeah, basically what I see it.
If you go, there's a thing that says budgeted revenues, which shows that, so Polk County's giving us the 71,000 for the project. Polk County Conservation's paying 142,000, and then City of Alleman's paying 71,000.
Really the gift is other people helping us there, right? Basically. The grant is really funds coming from the other areas.
That would be a good explanation, yes.
Yeah, it's
The grant
So
is,
basically, we aren't getting money when you think of a normal grant, you can get handed funds. In this case, we're getting handed a partnership where they are helping pay for everything, and our cost is less than it would have been if we were pursuing it ourselves. Am I understanding that?
sure. That sounds good.
Clear as mud.
So this park costs $284,000.
Right?
Exactly.
Well, that's
Well,
just fancy.
the grant has, to me, is totally different from what
the park,
this is gone.
the park,
Two
just this project,
Just this
just
project.
this project.
So basically, we're just going.
It will be a couple of million dollars when they do the base, all the work, yeah.
And so did anybody know about this?
I got another question.
First time,
Here a while back,
Okay.
4 Mile Creek flood control system, remember that, a couple years ago?
Yes.
They're gonna put a pond up here, 4 Mile Creek for flood control. And they's down there talking about putting a flood control project down here. That affect any of that?
So there will be
I-
bank restoration
And what I
with this project.
The flood control project, they talked about putting a pond down there, the spillway was, I think, 8, 10 foot deep, whatever, I can't remember. And when the water gets up, it goes over the spillway, but they're gonna have a permanent pipe there for normal creek flow. Is that money there?
but understand, they aren't gonna build something that's gonna get flooded out. They're gonna do it right. It's their property, and they're gonna do the project. But, I mean, it's hard for us to let go, since we are writing a check, you know, but it's a partnership with the Polk County Parks and Polk County government. And, you know, if you look at all of the different projects that Polk County funds all over the metro area, they are just like this. They don't fund 100%. They try to put seed money in to get other people involved for growth and economic development. That's how it works.
Okay, I'm good for wanting a grant, I agree with that, I wouldn't mind the park, but I'd like to see it redrawn to a different, I don't think people's gonna like that traffic going through there, and we don't have sidewalks. I'll tell you right now, they don't like it.
Well, I know that. But we
That's
all-
why I suggested putting driveways at the other ends.
Well, I can't do something like this without
We have to redraw
some
the
people
plans.
saying, yeah, we just have to sit back and see what they have envisioned and what the budget will
Let's
withstand.
talk to these people who planned this and have them draw up a new set of plans, or whatever it takes, go Logan.
So there has been multiple discussions on all that. That's gonna entail, nothing is down on in the drawing just yet, but there's been talks. They understand that there's gonna be increased traffic, there's gonna be, road reconstruction, other things like that. So that is a future phase of the project. That the first priority was getting the project jump started.
Get funded.
And that's what, so.
Okay,
Do we
On
know
this-
when we could get maps and pictures to see what?
Well, it'll be real soon,
I have
real
the
soon.
original drawings I can get for you. And then also, I did want to clarify, you guys were talking about, did the council already know this? Yes, this was brought up at a past council meeting, probably about a year ago, spring, last year, about applying for the grant and what this was going to be. We had all sat through meetings with Polk County Conservation and then came back to you guys that this was the next step.
That is correct.
Yeah.
However, what we're struggling with over here is the terminology.
Yes.
When we talked about it before, there was no, hey, this is gonna come out of Allen's budget. It was, we're going to apply for a grant. We're all for that, go for it.
And we did, and this is what we got.
Is
And
this,
we're gonna get a park out of it.
is this one of those things too, where in the fine print of the grant, you don't truly know what you're getting into until you're in the process as well? Because I know grant writing can be laborious, to put it politely.
Yeah.
Is it also something where we didn't know all the steps until we were knee deep in it? Or, I don't, because I also know grants are completely transparent sometimes. They're rather.
I would not anticipate, they would not ask us to do anything with regards to bank registration. That is an entirely different bailiwick down there. I don't anticipate them, we just wouldn't participate in anything else.
Is there any chance they could come back during this process and say we need to contribute more than what's on here, or will this
No.
be the most?
No, we can't, we have to stay within the confines of it, but, yeah, you know, I just hope that we have your support, because this is something we've worked on for a long time. And you know what, if Nick, you know, shows us, you know, where we can go and how we can do it, I mean, you know, I think it's a very good thing. I know that I kind of pushed a lot of projects here, you know, with the asphalting and the roads project and all those kinds of things, but I mean, this is what makes a city, you know, and I just think it's very important that we do this.
So we're anticipating a resolution at next council meeting for funding it, or what's?
Well, probably to accept the grant and let them know that we plan on proceeding with writing a check in the council, the year and then half the next year.
Yeah.
As our share, you know.
Yeah, we need a resolution approving it.
I got another question too. That railroad bridge down at the end, is this money cover tearing that down and fixing it?
No,
that's another project.
that's another project.
So,
And I've got other people, private people looking at that. It's not necessarily our deal, but you know, there's I mean, I challenged the Elwells. I said, you know, you pour thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars into the Iowa State Fair. And eyes rolled and said, yeah, it never ends. But I said, you know, right here, there's a project right over there that would be really neat, you know, if you were so inclined to want to take on a project like that. You know, that's just me talking to them, you know. But, you know, it's one project at a time. And I like, this is a really good project. It's got really good numbers. I think we've got good partners. And I think that it would behoove us to support the project.
I support the project, but I want different drawings, and I want to see some information. If we do a bike path on the west side, we can get funding for that.
Mm-hmm.
That'd make a big difference on a lot of the other stuff.
And when you say the bike path, that's different.
That's a different project.
Yeah, different groups that handle the bicycle versus the parks, and I'm sure that would be something they would like too. But you know, you've got property owners that have bought that right of way that they would have to buy that again. You know, buy it back. But that's just for another day. But boy, I know that's one of your dreams, is to have a bicycle path down there.
Walk path clear up to
All the way to Ankeny, you know, and back. But, you know, this one step at a time. And I really hope that the council will support this project. Any other questions? Again, thank you, Sherry, for your diligence in this project. We'll move on to the next. Perry, did you have anything? I'm sorry.
No, I've lived in this town and we've always had to utilize the schools parks for the kids or any event. So, in that, I'd like to see that park, go, but we need to find out and have some kind of paperwork showing us the expectations of the city from the whole, monies that they expect from us, and this is a one-time payment to them to jumpstart this, and after that, what the expectations. I go to a lot of parks and replace doors all the time on these bathrooms because of vandalism. That's another, where do we lie in the maintenance of the facility, being it is Park City and Park County and all that? So just food for thought.
Okay, thank you, Perry. Let's move on to the next item on the agenda, the code enforcement.
I guess I'll take care of that.
was.
Yeah, so the property in question, there has been an effort to clean up that area. He was given a certain amount of time and we even extended that. It is not yet completed. I would say the pile has diminished substantially, but it is still there. And so really it comes down to the council's decision as to whether we should send out a registered letter to him, or if we want to give him some more time just based off of the first letter we sent.
Did we give him 30 days to begin with?
We gave him 10. I did not reach back out to Jim until 14 days. Then of course we had the meeting, so I think now we're sitting at 20 or more days here. So probably around 25 days.
Do you think, was there any increase, like these last nice days? Has it seemed like he's taken advantage of the nice days to make any progress?
Councilman Smith did have a conversation with him, and that did seem to lead to more action on the residents' part. So, in my opinion, I don't know that another letter is warranted because a good amount of effort has been made here.
Say give him to
But
the end
again,
of
we
February.
only, sorry.
Give him to the end of February. If we don't have it done then send a registered letter to him then. Are we in the mark?
Is everybody in
Give
agreement?
him, what, a week in, almost maybe 2 weeks maybe?
About 2 weeks?
2 weeks? Yes, Smith.
I'll give him a call. He promised me that this would all be taken care of. The last meeting, the next day was supposed to be nice. He promised me, and I offered to help him again, to help him get it at least in the back of the truck, just saying, all you gotta do is drive it down to the landfill. He failed to do that. I'm beside myself. It's whatever you guys want to do at this point, because we've tried twice to help. So, if you want to go to the end of February, I'd be more than happy to call him. I'll forewarn him that if this isn't taken care of by the end of this month, the following day there will be a company out there cleaning it up, and you will be charged for it. I guess would be a way to put it.
That would be fine with me. Does that truck run that's in the driveway?
It does, but that
I thought the tires were flat.
so we need to send a registered letter before we could send a company out there to do anything. So the first letter we sent, just the city trying to be a good neighbor, we did not send that as a registered letter. So to be within the confines of the law, we would have to send a registered letter before, and then I would have to present the council with estimates that would have to be approved for an outside company to do cleanup of the property. So it would be a lengthy process. So take that into account as you make your decision.
Oh, wouldn't we have to put this on the agenda for the meeting where it could be voted on?
That is correct.
So,
Which means we can't take action until March,
you know,
and,
Plenty of time by March.
then is there a requisite waiting period? Do we have, in this letter, do we have to give them 15, 20, 30 days? Or?
in the
we
past,
just
we
give
have
them-
given 30 days to clean up, get stuff out of the way. March 8th would be our next meeting.
Right, but because we didn't do a registered letter, does it reset on the calendar for another 30 days?
I still think 30 days count from the day the letter was sent out.
It's based on the code as interpreted by our attorney, so.
Yeah, I think if I sign on registered, we would just have to do it in 10 days.
How do you feel about that pickup behind your neighbor's house across the street, sitting underneath that tree?
I don't like it,
It's an eyesore.
Want to send him a
but
letter?
it's registered.
You cannot send him a letter as it is not breaking any ordinances.
Speak up.
You cannot send him a letter because it's not breaking any ordinances. There are no damaged windows, no flat tires. And unless you trespass on the property, you cannot see the license plate to determine whether it is registered or not. So it does not meet any of the criteria within our ordinances to send him a letter.
The only thing I'll say is, council, we spend a lot of time on these little issues and whatever, and we had an opportunity to hire an outside code enforcement officer that would just take that out of our hands, and he would do those things for us. And there's several properties, right up there on 142nd and Highway 69. There's junk vehicle and a junk swimming pool, and you name it, it's up there. It's the entrance to our city. But I don't know, I still think that we should, address that and take it out of our hands, and just let the code enforcement officer do it. Let them take that responsibility. Cost-wise, we're just spending a lot of time and a lot of effort on this thing, and I just don't think that that's something we want to get into.
What time? We have the only time we spent
Well,
right
we've been
here
talking-
in this little bit of room right here. We haven't done nothing else done with the
But
law.
we have been talking about it.
Okay, we're
It's
talking-
every council
we
meeting,
spent
it's the same
10 minutes
thing.
on it right here.
But it's the same thing, every council meeting, we're dealing with this.
That's part of it. That's part of being the city council, being in the city.
I just,
It was part of our job.
that's just my thoughts. We have an opportunity to
How much
make a
was
phone
that?
call. It was
It was quite expensive.
a couple $100.
$6,000 or something?
The accountability was to the time was not there. There was no restraints on hours that they could bill. It was just, from the outside looked like a horrible deal for
Well,
us.
there's a lot of cities that hire them to do that because they just don't want to fiddle with it, and I don't know. Anyway, where are we at? You want to send them a registered certified letter, closing this up, or how you want to proceed there?
Council, do whatever.
Okay, let's do a registered letter, give them 10 days to clean it up, and then at our next meeting, we'll give them till the 8th of March.
Okay.
And that's our next meeting, and then if it ain't cleaned up, but say put it the 7th. And then we can look at it on the 8th, before a meeting. If it ain't cleaned up, then we can make a vote on what we're gonna do.
Would you like me to go ahead? I do have some estimates, but I don't have all three that we would need. Would you like an agenda item placed on there and estimates from me at the next meeting? I wouldn't be able to present them at a work session, as we normally do. But I
Yeah,
can-
get it what it costs to see what someone to come clean it up.
I just want to make sure, because we are kind of circumventing the usual, taking the bids to the work session, and I would instead be presenting them at the council session.
Wouldn't this fall well below the threshold of needing the bid process?
No, technically, if we were doing anything else, I wouldn't need to get 3 bids, but because we are sending somebody onto private property, I have to get 3 bids, I have to present them to the council.
And he said the lowest is about 1,000.
And yeah, the lowest is about 1,000, so.
And then we just move in against their house, we don't pay it.
I just hate to see, you know, Wilcox and the neighbors suffer through this.
Well, they're suffering through it right now, looking at it.
I know, it's just
And
like,
the person behind them, they suffer through the weeds and stuff that he don't mow in his backyard. You know, it's just,
it's a shame, you know, but that's,
it comes down to this,
What
it
it
has
is.
to, we're gonna do it. Go ahead and start it, let's finish it.
okay, I think we got that, ready for you, Jim. The next thing on the agenda is speed calming measures, 134th Avenue, 3rd and 4th Street. 3rd and 4th, I'm sorry, I shouldn't talk into the deal. The speed calming measures on 134th, 3rd and 4th Street. I'll let, Logan start that one out.
Well, there's not a whole lot left to talk about. As we discussed at the last meeting, that the total cost is somewhere around $32,920 for everything entailed.
About half of our park.
Yeah, it is quite a bit of money. And then I believe Jim was working on a policy for the installation of those, so. Jim, do you have?
So I guess what everybody need to think about is, do we want to spend the 32,000 on these speed bumps? Or do we want to spend the 32,000 on the half of the park? Because I don't think we're gonna be able to do both. And any other projects.
And I disagree, I think we can do both, and I wouldn't take that position if I hadn't talked to Nick, our budget, he's our budget guy. And I wouldn't make any of those decisions until we talk to him.
I wouldn't make huge decisions for my own family without seeing the budget, so I hate to make a decision or think about two major decisions like this without truly seeing all the numbers.
Well, another thing to think about is we do have a study being done for the corner of 134th and 69, so that may play a part in where we place the speed bumps as well. There was some people that came up and spoke against them on certain streets, but I cannot, you'll have to forgive me, I don't remember which streets that were. 3rd Street, okay. So spoke against them on 3rd Street. So the council has yet to make a decision on the exact placement of them, which, you know, if we decide to do less, that will affect the overall cost. So I think where we're at now is you know, enacting the policy that we had Jim working on, and then further discussion as to where they should be placed, how many should go in, and what the actual criteria for them going in is.
So Logan had done some research and found Waterloo is the only policy he found. And according to their policy, none of these streets would qualify for speed bumps.
Thought that's what we read
Right.
in that Waterloo one that you shared with us, right?
That is correct.
I was
yes.
thinking according to what our needs are, it would look like we qualified in their needs.
Yes, but there is a stipulation in that policy that they can be placed by the city council with or without meeting that criteria, so. Doesn't necessarily restrict your guys' authority to have them placed. It just restricts the residents who may ask for them, and we would base it off of the criteria to the policy.
My family moved to the area when shortly before the others were removed. Did we feel like having those in place were helpful to the traffic? Because we didn't live here enough. I think we were like a few
The
months before
style
they
that
were
we
removed.
had, no. But the style we're going to, yes. It will make a difference. Because they know they'll lose their side of the car. We just had a hump, we just had a little forward bump.
Is
The
that
faster you went, the easier it was to go over it. So all the kids found that out, and then they just fly down the street, and they just be a thump.
You won't be able to do that with these
Yeah, I
guys.
don't do that with these.
Okay.
Your little car almost be up on top of it.
No, it's not a work session, you can't vote on anything.
So it's up to the council's pleasure to introduce a motion next meeting in March. As to whether, I think we've studied these and everybody's sees, you know, what Logan has done so far. I don't know what.
I was all for them up until this park thing. And now, you know, we got $71,000 we're gonna come up with. So I'd rather see everything laid out on paper, budget, what we actually got before I actually even make a vote on the speed bumps and stuff now.
Well, I think voting on it would be premature as we have not yet decided where or how many are
'Cause
going to be placed. We can't draw a resolution.
What we talked
for it.
about 2, 1, and 1. And we talked about doing, if we decide we're gonna do the long northeast 14th and that corner down there, we talked about maybe doing it the next budget year where we had the money for it. And we were just getting what it was gonna look like, estimated cost, to what we can see if we can even feasible or not. And then what we kind of talked about.
Yeah, we still have no idea what it's gonna
You
be.
know, so I mean, as far as the end of the street, I think
Yeah.
we probably wait maybe another year once we get stuff brought to us, we see what we do.
I'm trying to think about the pricing here. So I think it was 3,500 per unit, and then let's see, what's that? I think we probably drop about $5,000-ish per that we decide not to install. So somewhere around there. It's not exact. I'm using the most professional guesstimation I can. But
You had it written down on paper, you had it, last
Yeah.
week.
Yeah, I just-
Might be in my car, but. We'll just go off that, whatever you had there. Maybe minus one, if we don't put one on third, maybe, I don't know what. Cause Perry talked about some people not wanting it on third or wanting it on third.
Yeah, Bill, this is Perry. Third Street was, the two ladies came, and said they didn't want them. Walt did not want them. The tall guy that ran for council, he didn't want them. So Third Street's pretty much, and then the old council member, he didn't want them. So that pretty much tells me Third Street does not want a speed bump.
So we're
So
just
we don't
talking,
have to worry about that. All my neighbors would like to see one, and then the ones on 134th.
so 1 on 4th,
Okay. So you're talking one on
1,
fourth.
2 on 134th,
Okay. Not doing the
not including
not
stuff on
including
the end.
the end because we're doing the
Be the
study.
one in between the 2 stop signs and the one from the stop sign to, down toward
Okay,
the-
so we might be able to knock off, say, 10 or so off of that total cost. So maybe we'd be sitting at like 22, 23. But you guys also need to remember that wherever we do not install these are speed calming measures.
Mhm.
You know, I got a report from CCRE that, you know, explains a lot about this stuff. I've given that to the council before. But where we don't install these, what we've done is we've now diverted the traffic from the roads that do have them, because people aren't gonna like them, to the roads that don't have them.
That'll be 142nd.
So,
Third.
so should they be on every road? Is there a reason for them to be on every road? Are we going to create an additional problem if we don't put them on every road? These are questions that we have to think about before they're installed.
Well, you know, the city has home rule, and we can pretty much do whatever we want to do with our interior streets. Now, when it comes to the county streets, that's
Absolutely.
fine. But home rule, we can narrow with white lines, we can do whatever really we want to, because, you know, it's home rule. Okay?
Absolutely.
So I wouldn't muddy the issue here. I wouldn't muddy the issue at all. You know, if you want to do 2, I need volunteer, you can put one in front of my house. I don't care. I just want somebody to slow down.
So it has to be
I don't
decided.
Don't worry.
Put it right right there, Bill.
Right near the driveway.
Right, no, not the driveway, but you know the lot next door?
No,
You can do it. I mean, that's
let's
fine.
go with 3. I mean, let's wait on the end, let's see what kind of pricing we get. I mean, I'm all for what you guys, what we're for. I mean, I don't have a problem. I think it look kind of nice.
I do too. There's lights
So,
there and everything.
but I ain't gonna vote on until I see facts from Nick.
And I want to see that too. But I kind of dropped that one on him, and we will, we'll work on it. You know, we'll get that done. I also want to see exactly what the Polk County Parks. You know, we need a plan. I'd like to see a plan, and I think they'll have that for us. Okay.
See, did this come out of this budget for what Beaster and Kim's doing for that water deal behind your house?
That water, that's in the water bill, water budget, and I don't know sorry, betters, I don't know where we're at.
We're actually, Beaster and Kim is gonna do a preliminary, material estimate of what we need. And then we're gonna send it out for bids in, I believe, and see what our bids are. And then me and Lauren, if we agree on it, go with it. Then me and Lauren will take it to Keith and
You think,
present it to him.
are we talking March meeting or
It's about
April?
About April, so.
Yeah, I'll say by, when do you think Beaster and Kim's gonna have that worked out?
I cannot give you an appropriate response to that right now. We're still working on road stuff as well, so I'll reach out to Forrest.
Okay, reach out and see, just, if it's feasible next month, we'll do it next month, and not, we'll do it in April.
Yeah.
Go on and get all our facts and all.
Okay.
But if you know about it before meetings, let me know.
Yeah, I will. And I mean, it's two separate ones for the 134th drainage and the entranceway, so they should probably be done around the same time from what I was.
Is he coming? Okay. He's not coming.
Anything else on your desk? The only other thing, in regards to Mike Willie and whatever, we're still kind of moving forward, moving slow. I believe Supervisor Altringer and Supervisor Holm had a meeting with the WRA, kind of waiting to find out what transpired at that meeting. But I kind of told Mike, and I think our opinion is, nobody really wants to work with us. And Altringer mentioned that we need to build a better relationship with Elkhart and Ankeny and whatever, but I don't. We've done everything, and you can show the love, but if they don't want to love us, you know, I think Alleman is out there on our own. And we're gonna work with them to whatever, put the onus back on them. If you guys can figure it out, we're there. But if you can't figure it out, it's been a lot of years the way we're doing just what we're doing.
We talked about that too, so.
So that's where we're at. I just want to, give an update on that. Thank you, Billy, for filling in for me while I'm sick.
No problem.
And always count on you. And any other things, Scotty?
Yes, we need to do a traffic report. You have an item on the back.
Oh, the public works report. You had an item here on the back.
Yeah, I do, and I have a couple additional things that aren't on the report that came in later, but yeah, the first one is the tree inventory that the DNR did for us. There's one tree in the Denver Park that is a safety hazard, and it just so happened that the bid came in just shy of $200 over my spending limit. So I gotta give this to you guys. There'll be a resolution on the next meeting for approval, but it has to be done. So we don't necessarily have the choice. Using the same company that we used for the 20-some that we had previously taken down. So, do you have any questions about that one? The road damage item that's listed on here, that kind of came up out of the blue. They were not there one week and they were there the next. It's not necessarily an ideal situation with how new these roads are. And so we've been advised to hold a retention payment for the time being, and we're going to work with Inroads and B&K to determine an appropriate solution to this thing. Other than that, with the weather, it's going to be a waiting game. We just have to wait to see if some of these close up, or some of them require additional attention.
Well, first question I would have is if you anticipate potentially the cracks closing up with the weather, I can't imagine they would magically reseal themselves, so they are going to appear again at some later point when the weather changes it to cold again. Am I correct?
For the most part, you are correct.
Okay, so with that being said, are we looking at a, albeit premature, but an ongoing maintenance issue that the city is not currently prepared to cover?
That is correct. That is a correct assessment.
So,
I did present to the council previously the equipment needed to take care of these things. It was just a couple $1,000, I believe, plus material per year. I have no issue with doing the work itself. We just have to determine whether that's the city's responsibility at this point, or whether that's something that we want to move forward in a different manner. And that will need to be decided with Forest and B&K.
well, obviously we want to determine financial responsibility if there's something that was done improperly, an improper mix, somewhere down the line, but ultimately we do need to make sure that we are proactive with whatever responsibility the city may bear moving forward for the maintenance of that road, whether it be that tar machine you were talking about or what have you. But do we know, we have an open line of communication with the contractor as of yet, or is that still to happen? Have they been out to look? Do we have any kind of knowledge of their position?
We have had discussions. There has not been further contact since that initial discussion. They were going to come inspect the roads. B&K was going to come inspect the roads. I would assume that B&K is looking into the road mixture that was used. So I would say that really it's going to be a time-consuming endeavor. We need to wait for all the facts and proceed based on the facts. We did anticipate that there was always going to be continued maintenance on this. That's why before this project was even finished, I presented the council with the equipment that would be needed for that maintenance. So we've got our ducks in a row. We just need to wait for all the information to be available.
Did we yet vote on that piece of equipment?
No, I presented it at a work session, and I believe the original cost was $4,000, and I was asked to do a little more looking around, and I did find another machine of the same quality that was, I believe, just over $2,000, and that was planned to be presented. I think it was going to be in July, so.
Maybe we need to accelerate that to add it to an agenda, an upcoming meeting, either March or April.
That is a distinct possibility because we did not anticipate that these roads would be requiring maintenance this year.
Soon.
So.
Here's the thing about this road thing, it's a thermal thing. we ought to take advantage of the cracks already got there, because we know where it expands and contracts, make the control joints there. It might save other cracks in other parts of the road. Everything expands and contracts. I think gotta put expansion joints in there, or control joints of some type, and get that issue. I think it'll save us money down the road. And you're gonna have to caulk over them here and there, but.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen an example of that used on asphalt, but I can look into that.
What's that?
I have not seen an example of that used in asphalt, just
They got 'em.
concrete, but I can look into that.
Look into it.
But some of these are in the middle of the road. They're not necessarily in a proper placement, even if it was concrete grade
Right.
expansion joint in that place. They simply need to be, fixed, and we need to determine what caused these to happen so quickly. 3 months is,
Yeah.
They're right all the way across the road too.
yeah, transverse, they're completely across the road, yes.
Who's the final say as to how they need to be fixed?
I would say the.
I would think inroads would have to give us some kind of advice first. I'd hold them to their standard first, because I don't think they need to come back and look at them and
So
see why they did it, and if they have to fix it, or give us the right direction to fix it.
So this is something that I've been fixing for years now within the city. We previously used a product called Cold Flow because we didn't have a tar machine. So I've probably done 100 or more of these, and you sometimes have to redo them as well. But it's going to be the engineer who decides whether there was an issue with the mix, or if there was something that played a part in these, or whether it was just simply that we had kind of a wonky winter, and we ended up getting some thermal cracking, and we'll move forward from that.
Thank you for telling us about it, Logan, please.
Awesome. So the only other item that I did not have on here was we finally got some pole replacement, some power pole replacements done last week, and with 4 or 5 more on the way. I've been working with Mid-Am for quite a while, stating that they were a safety issue. They came out and did an emergency removal and replacement on 2 of them, and I think we have 4 or 5 more on the way that should be done. So we're making some headway on that. I know the last thing you guys wanted to know was, at the last meeting, we talked about the budget. What kind of cost, what kind of projects we were thinking about. As Scott said at the last meeting, it really needs to be decided which project that has been discussed needs to move forward this year. You can see some of them up there. It's kind of some scrolling writing there, but we've got intakes on Denler that are going to cost $14,000 a piece. That need to be done in the coming years. What's that?
Intakes.
Yeah.
On Denver.
We've got asphalt on Denler that's going to need to be done. We've got asphalt on 6th Street. We've talked about the 134th tile. 6th Street Court was the only road that did not have stormwater infrastructure put in the north part of Alleman. That was discussed at one point. So there's a lot of different projects that are going to come into play in the next few years. But you've had 3 or 4 projects discussed this year, and I would think that the work session is the time to discuss which one you want to move forward with this year.
I say with the speed bumps, and if we do the water behind 134th and the park, I think we're pretty much tapped.
Yeah.
I don't say nothing else will get done.
Well, with that being said, I ran into Sherry at the post office and just had a lunchtime chat about the birds, the bees, and the weather. And we both kind of noticed at the same time how in horrible disrepair the sidewalk is there.
At the post office.
Post office and across front of the blue Morton building or whatever that the elevator has, and that the empty lot there. And I don't know if there's anything we can, as a city, that we can, compel the elevator to fix their sidewalk, or the post office. I don't know, but I think we should at least move that to a discussion point and work on that, because it's absolutely horrible. It's basically not a sidewalk anymore.
So to do that, you follow the same principle as we're working on the 134th drainage. It is not our property and does not fall within our right of way. So we would need to seek a, temporary construction easement or, a temporary right of access to do the work. The council could make the decision to do the work, but it is not our property.
Well, exactly, and that's why I said if there was some way we could compel them to fix it themselves.
Yeah, I can look at our sidewalks.
That's
Because there are, I know like West Des Moines forces homeowners to replace their sidewalks. There's not. I'll look at ours. That's never been a question.
See what it says.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody done, ready to go home?
Well, we gotta talk about, employees' wages and stuff first, don't we? That's kind of a big topic.
I didn't see that one on the list, I'm sorry.
I think it's on there, but.
I mean, it looks like that.
So are we gonna talk about it this time?
It's just a
Or
work
is it on
session.
next, is it on next month?
It's just a work session, you're not gonna make any votes, so,
It's just food for thought.
yeah.
Okay, do you wanna talk about
We were still waiting for numbers from,
I think we have to have.
Well, not for, well, these numbers actually include into the budget, so we kinda need to discuss if we're gonna give them a raise, if we're not gonna give them a raise, what we're gonna do with them.
right, but
So that has to go into Nick before we even get any final numbers of the budget back.
But we didn't get the final numbers on how much surplus we're gonna have.
Yeah, we did, we had like
There's 101.
101.
There was a blank spot. Because the money hadn't been, tip money wasn't decided yet or something. There was a considerable blank spot in that budget. And that's the only thing that I recall, was that we were going to not discuss that until we knew exactly what the bottom line was.
Well, I thought
mistaken.
we didn't discuss it that Monday because we didn't know what the bottom line was gonna be. He kinda told us once we changed the numbers, it'll be 101 minus what we decide for our employees. Myself, last couple of years, the city's been pretty generous in raises. I don't think we should give them a raise this year. I think we should go another route, other routes with it. There's other concerns, I don't know if you guys have talked to them or pulled up a contract or anything like that. I kinda went through it. I think there's some adjustments need to be made on to it that we can give them instead of a raise, to help our budget for this year. I'll start in with Logan.
Seems like we normally ask them to leave, don't we? Not that we normally do it.
Well, no, we've been, the last
Have
2
you been?
years we've been in here.
Have you, okay, maybe that's what we used to do.
So-
This is a public recorded meeting, so.
Okay.
Logan's vacation time is a lot different from Sherry's. His is 2 weeks, 1 day a year, up to four weeks. So in other words, means he gets 2 weeks, then he gets 1 day every year worked. I think Sherry's is just the opposite. She gets 2 weeks vacation. After 3 years, she got 3 weeks. After 5, she got 4 weeks. I think we should match Logan's the same way as hers. He's been here 4 years. I think on his anniversary date, which is in March, I think we should give him another week's vacation then. And then change it after 5 years, he'll get another week. That'll be 4 weeks vacation, just like what Sherry has. The contract will be the same. Okay? Instead of a raise, I think we should give them, I'm gonna say personal days. They don't have personal days. They got sick leave with no personal time, which would be nice instead of using vacation time, or your sick time is for sick time. Personal time, you give them 2 days a year, up to 10 days. Now it takes them 5 years to get 10 days, okay? And then we can revise it after that. I'd like to give them both, each of them 2 days this year. I'd like to take a look at his comp time away since he's a wage employee and just pay him out in overtime because he don't have that much overtime. Basically, the only overtime he has is in the winter, which here lately hasn't been a lot. So I think we do away with comp, you just go straight pay, overtime pay. What else do I got? Sherry, like I said, 2 days of personal time, and I think we should give them 2 more days of sick time and let them accumulate up to 60 days over the years they work for sick time if they don't use it. For, say, they twisted their ankle, they gotta be off for 5 days. First 2 days is okay. Anytime after the 2 days, they gotta bring doctor's note in saying they gotta be off for 3 more days. Just so you know they ain't taking sick days as a vacation day, or just because they're home wanting to stay home and watch TV. So the doctor's saying they gotta be off those other 3 or 4 days, whatever it takes, they can use their sick days for that. I think we should give them 2 more sick days and let them accumulate up to 60 days of sick days.
So I think we got away from that because when Rick left, we had to pay him out for several months. So I think, don't we just have, I thought we had PTO now, I don't think we have sick.
Personal time, I don't see it on their contract. 2 weeks vacation, up to 10 days sick leave, 5 bereavement days, holidays, basically all they got.
They changed our sick days to use them or lose them.
Yep.
Vacation's the same way.
In Logan, when we were doing all this work up here, he would come in after hours, do 10, 15-minute call with these guys. I think he should be able to put in an hour minimum for leaving his house after hours to go do something for the city. Instead of putting in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I think it should be a flat rate, 1 hour, no matter how long it takes him. If it takes him 2 hours, he puts in 2 hours, but for the first, up to 1 hour for a call in. Same thing with Sherry. She has to come in here. I think it should be the same way for her too. Sherry, she uses her car a lot. We don't pay her no mileage. She has a low mileage insurance where she's set a mileage. She goes over that, then she has to pay more of a premium. Okay, we don't give her no mileage. If Logan has a red truck, only thing here to drive is the white one with the sander and blade on it. I wouldn't expect her to jump in that and take off and go to the bank, go anywhere with it. I suggested why you use a vehicle. All the city people can use it. Logan can take it to his training. We could take it to meetings like when we went downtown, there was 4 of us. We all piled in Sherry's. We could pile it in the city vehicle, drove it. We don't need a new one. We need a used one. Don't have to buy it outright. We can try maybe leasing, or we can just payments, future budget, pay it off. If not, don't want to go that route, then I think we should pay her mileage on her car for using it. Because she has to use her miles for her personal time for city time, when it's a set rate. Same thing with the phone. She uses her phone I call her phone, Bob calls her phone, everybody calls her phone. I think the city should purchase a cell phone for her. Your cell phone would be a city phone, period. That's what I got to say.
Well, you guys had city phones.
We did a lot of research, thank you.
Logan,
We did a lot of research, thank you.
I've been working on it for a week or so.
Yeah. Your thoughts?
Me?
Yeah, I was just trying to get everybody's thoughts. You know, I don't want to, in theory.
Well, that was a lot to digest. That was a lot there. I had a few thoughts on it. the city purchasing a vehicle, probably not a great idea. Paying out mileage, no problem with that, none whatsoever. The vacation time and whatnot in lieu of a salary increase, I think it's a fantastic idea. 60 days of sick time seems excessive.
Well, I had people ask for 120, I cut that in half, we can go 30. I mean, we at my place, we're unlimited on how many days we can bank on sick time. And like I said, the first 2 days we can use, anything after the third day or more, we gotta bring in a doctor note saying why we're gonna use them. But we can bank, but you're there 20 years, 2 years, there's 40 days, so if we go 30 days, that'd be more reasonable.
As I was saying, the amount of sick time, definitely negotiable, don't have a problem with that. I don't want to get into a situation where they've been banking them for 20 years and now all of a sudden the city's got to come up with $52,000.
Yeah, I understand that, that's why we've got to put a limit on it.
Right, and it should be a use it or lose it. The vacation is there for you to take it because you need it to get away. You gotta get away. You gotta unplug, you gotta stop. But if you choose to bank it for 5 or 10 years, that can become a financial burden to the city. I don't wanna see that happen.
You wanna use it by July 1st?
I would say you bank 20 days and anything after 20 you lose.
Well, yeah, and I'm open to discuss all of that. It's just, Bob asked me my thoughts and those were my first initial, that's what popped out of my head.
So I guess one thing we kind of need, if we're gonna go that route, then I guess what we need to agree on is that we're not gonna go with a wage increase, so we can give that to Nick. So Nick can put that in his budget of a no increase, and then we'll have that money to work with. So we basically just need to say yes on the increase or no on increase. We go another route like I just threw out to you guys, or we kind of need to decide a raise or no raise tonight, just a yes or a no, so we can give it to Nick and Nick can do his paperwork.
So I think I got lost in not having comp time and paying overtime, because then that does affect that number.
What's that?
I thought I heard you say.
No comp, yeah, overtime, I mean, how much overtime have you had? Basically, no overtime in the summer.
So like.
Basically overtime in the winter, by the time you get it.
Snowmageddon a couple years ago, I think I had to take a week off after that, because I'm capped at 20 on my comp time, and I had so much from all that I think I took a whole week off and it didn't touch my vacation. So
You're salaried, right?
no, I'm hourly.
Oh, you're
I'm hourly, and by state law, if I'm not paid out the overtime at time and a half, it is stipulated by the council as comp time and a half. So
And comp time's always been kind of a pain in the butt.
if I was
No one
salaried,
has a hard time understanding it. The bookkeeper has a hard time keeping track of it. I just thought it'd be a way to get it eliminated and get rid of it. If you work overtime in the winter, if you guys want to make it to where he takes time off, I mean, that's in the wording.
well, that's kind of how we've operated. When I had my interview initially, it was in my interview it was, yeah, hey, a lot of these things work 24 hours. You work flexible hours. So if you have to come in at 10 o'clock because you're going to have to work till 6 or whatever, that's what you do. It was 40 hours, and you do your best not to go over that 40 hours. So that's how we've operated for 5 years. Is I work flexible,
And he should
make my own
have,
hours.
he should have flexible hours too.
And
Just so something comes up.
sometimes in the winter, I'm still working at 2 a.m. But sometimes in the summer, like when we had this large project, I had to come in a little later because I knew I was going to have to work a little later. And so you always have to kind of align those tasks, and so.
So with that aspect of your position and the fact that you are, you're the man.
I'm on call
You have-
24/7.
You have no backup, that is a city employee, you have none of that. if, it seems to me that it wouldn't be a horrible idea to look at putting him on a salary versus an hourly exempt type position. I don't know if the state has certain criteria he has to meet and he doesn't meet it because there's no management in other personnel or whatever. I don't know. But it should be something I think we should discuss.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The only thing that I will interject here is we want to be very, very careful that we don't run into the problems with the Baxter and these other cities had in audits from the state of Iowa and all their rules and those kinds of things. And that's kind of why they clock in and clock out with their fingertip over there, because that keeps everybody happy, you know, and so I would only say that. We want to make sure that we don't wind up on the front page of the newspaper. That kind of deal.
Well, that's like what we're just did. So are you salaried or not? You're hourly too?
We're both hourly.
Do you find yourself logging much overtime on an annual basis?
Last year I had like maybe 2,000. But like
Hours or dollars?
dollars. But like this week I have a meeting tonight, I went home early. I have a meeting Thursday, I'll go home early. It's basically like the Saturday events that there's just a lot to Easter egg hunt and the tree thing and just stuff we do on Saturdays.
I don't think mine was nearly that much. But I'm paid out in comp time.
Now, with the new tax code, with no tax on overtime, that would, in my book, be much preferable to comp time, would it not?
In my personal opinion, yeah, I wouldn't argue with that, no. I'd like to
And
move
there's
to that.
stipulations to that law though.
Always.
So
Yeah, 'cause I know like,
it's the 0.5 that you're not taxed on. It's the 0.5, not the 1.5, but the 0.5 that you're not taxed on.
Is that a signed law by the governor? Is that done?
Yeah, that's done.
yeah,
That's done. So,
Jenny,
Well, okay, so the wage thing, let's get this figured out. No raise as
Your
far as
thought,
wage
Jenny?
price?
I'm gonna ask Jenny because I wanted to get him and get you.
well, you have to remember
It's very,
this part right here is a lot of learning for me because I have no background in what Sherry and Logan's arrangements have been. So I think considering everything you researched and suggested, I think it's great considerations and it's a lot to think about. I think, I don't have in front of me what they,
What's that?
yeah, I don't have in front of me what they make anyway. My brain wasn't ready to think about it, but I feel like it's great things to think about. And I think, especially with Logan, I like the idea of overtime better than comp, but I don't have a lot of experience with comp myself either, so I don't know if I was something my brain wouldn't be absorbing.
I think it would be a big increase for him if he wasn't doing comp time.
And it feels like it would be great for Logan, as far as our budget, I don't know what that would put with us in our negotiations with Nick, but I think it's great things to think about and learn about.
well, the only other thing is, we can't determine how much, so certain things that are required of Sherry because she is the clerk and she has to take minutes at all these meetings and other things. With me, it's a little different because mine is mostly determined by the weather, which in Iowa changes, like that. So it might be difficult. You might have to come up with an average of the last.
Or you want comp time, which one,
Me personally, I would prefer the overtime. I think it would, the comp time, I've heard it from Sherry, I've heard it from the accountant. It gets hard because actually the first year I was here,
it's always been hard.
I worked Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday of Christmas and Christmas Eve. And they just paid that out because we didn't have anything specified for comp time and how that was paid out, all that. So I know that that's been a subject.
Question pertaining to overtime laws and the rate. Is the 1.5 that seems to be traditional for overtime pay, is that mandatory or can we set that higher?
It used to be mandatory at one time.
That's
mandatory.
I've always heard it was just 1.5.
Traditionally, I mean, everybody talks about overtime and time and a half. Does it have to be time and a half, or can it be 2 times? 3 times?
I suppose as an employer, you could do that.
But does the state handcuff us as a government body to a certain number? Do we know that?
That would be the Fair Labor Standards Act, so we would.
I'm
have
sure
to
they
refer to that.
require us to do a minimum.
A minimum, yes, I know that for a fact that there is a minimum of 1.5.
Yeah.
Well, we'd also
2 times.
do it like John Deere, we have overtime after 8 hours. No matter if we say we work 32 hours that week and we have 10 hours overtime, we still get paid 10 hours overtime.
I
But we
agree
could-
with
but we
that
got to-
wholeheartedly.
But, you know, when you set his up,
With me,
anything after 40 is overtime.
yeah, I have to work the 40.
That's the way I would set it up.
Yeah, because I'll do like a snowstorm and I might work 12 or 14 or whatever, and then, you know, if I take off early on a Friday to not hit the overtime or whatever, I'm not paid out, you know, overtime for the excess between the 8, 12, 14, whatever.
Lauren, anything?
Should look into this again. I think you run into this too. Used to be 8 hours. After that, you got time and a half. After 10 hours, you got double time. That's on some of these factories that
Yeah, we're not like that, we're just,
used to be, I think.
that's the whole time I've been out there, we've only been, after 8 hours, it's time and a half, no matter if you work 10, 12, 16 hours. But Sunday's double time,
Sundays and holidays were always double time.
you never work. But
For us it was, but should look into that again. And I think you gotta be on a salary and get your wages, time and a half after 40 and time and a half after 8.
so you guys are at what, 31 right now?
What's that?
$31 an hour is what they're at. So I say no raise this year, we go another route somewhere on what we described, talked about, so we give Nick the answer.
The only thing I propose is Billy, we need to put that in writing, for everybody to see. I mean, you work with Sherry, put it all down.
Yeah, 'cause we'll have to
The comp time and
Because we'll have to write new contracts up, so.
Okay, yeah, that's what we need to do.
And it'll have to be voted on, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, I'll set with Sherry then, write them up, word them out as no raise, 2 days personal, 2 days sick. You want it cut off at 20 days as far as, or you just want me to throw a number in there and we discuss it later?
Well, more along that line, my main concern was a use it or lose it type situation versus just being able to bank into infinity.
I get you.
Jim, did you previously write that contract for us? So you.
I apparently did not, because I don't.
No, because actually, Dave Wilcox wrote it up last time and Arlene Sampson wrote up hers. Dave Wilcox did his. So 2 different people, 2 different scenarios, way 2 different things. So I think we just need to make it simple, direct. At 5 years, they both got their 4 years in.
Okay, and then we'll get that to Jim and we'll.
One last thing to consider along with all of this, I don't know if we've reached this point yet. I honestly don't, but I am gonna throw this out there for a discussion point. I don't know if we've got to the point where we need to look at hiring a part-time assistant for either one of these people or both. I don't know if we're there yet, but it seems to me like they both do an awful lot. And when they're not here, nothing's getting done. That's kind of like key man policy I got at work. If I'm not there, nobody's working. So that could, at some point, rear its ugly head. I don't know if we're there yet.
Well, in the past, we always had a council person cover a certain area. Like we had one council cover the, water tower when we had our own water. We had another one cover the winter months if Rick was gone.
We can't do that.
Another council did it in the summertime, covered it if they were gone. We kind of set the council as backups. We had someone that plowed snow, so he was our backup for plowing snow in the wintertime. John Hathaway was the water guy. The water went down, he knew how to go down there and get it back up. He went through the program, he knew how to do it. So what maybe we need to do, is step up a little more. You know, fill in on, us do something on that effect, if they need help.
So that technically should not be done that specific way. We have gone to an outside contractor who's licensed, insured, all that. So we have backup. That same company that does backup for me for snow, that same company also works the water for the school. And so if I'm gone and something needs to be done with the irrigation system or whatever, they also have a working knowledge of that. So we kind of use the same company for everything. We've used them for quite a few years now. I haven't had any issue with that, and it seems like we've been doing just fine.
Yeah, we're very lucky we have Chuck Husak group.
Yeah.
We're really lucky. They're knowledgeable with what we do.
Sounds
Do we
like-
want to consider their health insurance cost in any of these raises and stuff, cost?
Well, we just maxed out our health thing at $4,400.
So you're okay with that?
Well, probably not, but that's all we can do. That's all the,
Are we maxed out there?
Yes.
Yeah.
we are maxed out there, yes.
And while I respect what Bill is saying, and I appreciate all of it, it's really a slap in the face to get nothing. I mean, if you give you 10 cents. My health insurance went up $100 more a month. Yours went up $200 more a month.
Oh, actually more than that. I switched insurance because it was going to be $1,200 a month for me. So I switched
And that's
insurance.
just money out of your pocket, out of your wages.
Yeah,
So
but
we
you guys,
want to figure out a percentage on that.
You can't do anymore. You guys have maxed us out on that.
But we can give you a raise, like a buck a raise or whatever, you know, to offset, or consider that, or help lower that a little bit. Insurance gonna go nuts here, people. It's gonna go nuts.
Yours, you said yours went up $400 a
I
month?
went up 100.
$100 a month,
Logan's was 4.
and so that's 1,200, and yours is what, 400 a month?
Yeah,
went up.
it's somewhere around there. I'd have to look. Like I said, I just switched because what I had was going to be $1,200 a month, and I was not going to pay that.
Yeah, so yours, what is yours now?
I'd have to look. I don't know, but I mean that's my technically that's my private medical stuff. So.
Well, you know, it's a conundrum for you know, for the city. You know, after watching and stuff about what a wonderful job she does, and then
well, how much they get a raise last year? How much was it?
I got $1 last year. Because I'm in line
The
with
year
what
before.
I'm in line with other clerks, what same size city in Polk County make. Mine's all in line with what other clerks make.
They give me 4 to match what she did.
Can we change our budget, instead of 4,400, make it a little bit higher? Can we do something that'll help them out that way?
So they maxed out the health, that's all they can do on the health.
Yeah.
What's that?
yeah, but you can come in on something
Right,
else.
right, so yeah,
If you're maxed out on health, you can come back in a back door on something, you know, that's not insurmountable there. But,
well, and so if we're increasing vacation time, we're also increasing having to use outside contractors.
Really? What would you, I mean, if you took off a week during the summer, what will we have to hire someone to do?
Don't we have to hire someone to mow?
No.
Clean those every other week?
Oh,
Well, I alternate them, so none of them I got them all on a schedule.
I know.
Does that outside service, it obviously helps with Logan's capacities, does the outside service help with any of Sherry's capacities?
No, and that's why I only take vacation the last week of the month if I'm going.
Because that's when you have the least amount to worry about getting in.
Mhm.
So City Hall just closed then?
Yeah. But my phone doesn't stop ringing and I still check emails and.
So what would, say 2% increase look like? How much money? 2% of what? Of $31 an hour? You would have got,
$6.20,
$6.20,
2% of $31.
and that's times, what? It's $2. The,
62 cents.
62 cents.
What, was it 60 cents?
Is it 60 cents or?
62
That's
cents,
60 cents.
2% would be 62%. Or, yes, 62 cents. Wow. I mean, I just look at all the other clerks and all the other county employees, the city employees. I get the mayors from all mayors all over Iowa, you know, it's not an easy deal for them, you know, but let me tell you, there are people out there approaching them too. Harry, you're awful quiet.
Yep, I'm sitting here. My phone's about ready to die, but
Oh.
I'm, a lot of information.
Does it make sense to have a couple councilmen just review the contracts and come up with a proposal? Like, I wasn't expecting any of this tonight, so.
I know, it's a lot to think about.
Yeah, you know, that's the best one.
There's a pretty good basketball.
Like you said.
I came up with a lot of proposals, so somebody else got something else that's all.
Okay, I think, why don't we, Scott, would you like to work with Billy or Jenny? Would you like to work with Bill on Ray's situation? Or on that, what would, you know?
I don't mind, I don't wanna pull the new card, but I am new to all
I
conversations
know
too,
you
so I
are,
don't
we're
know
gonna get
how.
you wet, right?
Well, I have no problem with that, but I wanna be educated well and not just fast and hard and sloppy, so I don't.
Uh-huh, okay.
I'll be happy to work with Bill on that.
I mean, I'm happy to sit with you so that I'm gaining knowledge, but I don't wanna.
You can't, when you have a quorum, it can be two.
Okay.
Gotta be two, so what two would like to do it? Volunteers?
Scott,
Scott?
Bill kind of snickered when I volunteered, so I don't think he wants me.
No, he didn't, he didn't worry about it. I thought you said something else, Scott. I thought you said something else. That's why I snickered at it. I didn't know you wanted to work with me. I'll work with you. I have no problem. I thought you said something else about what Bob said. I was chuckling about that.
Are you making fun of me now?
Yeah, I was. It was nothing against you, Scott. It was,
Fair enough.
I thought I heard something else. I'm hard of hearing, so I thought I heard something else. And I chuckled at Bob.
Well, I've talked to
It was
Nick
totally different, but.
about this in the summertime, see if we can come up with some type of solution in there to our budget a little bit better than we budget for. Because I think we need to be careful here. I think we're stepping on toes.
Very much.
Is vacation time important to you, Sherry? Like, when I think about it, it's hard for you to take vacation to the point, like, is that even something that's an important aspect of?
yes.
Okay, I'm just trying to, the big picture
I
of your
feel
role.
like, because mine has always been different, I'm at 3 weeks, I'm comfortable with that. I think 4 weeks, I would be like, oh my God, I'm gone too much, but I would probably appreciate it once I
You're
started
at 4
having.
weeks, ain't you?
No, I'm only at 3, because I haven't completed my 5th year. Because it
I
says
thought you've been here
after
5 and a
5
half.
years.
Yeah. Oh, yes, it's been 5 in July. Good.
Okay,
But
call
I
a
do-
shot here.
I do think the sick leave, because at the school we get carried over, so I lose it every year. I have nothing in my bank Sorry, Lauren, I'm ready to go.
It's not that you lose it every year, it's after you got 20 days,
All right.
20 days.
Oh, I
But
guess.
she said she currently loses it, right?
Yeah, we both currently
I think
lose it.
she's saying that
Yeah.
being able to accumulate some would be nice. 'Cause
Yes.
There obviously are
Yes.
years you need it
Yes.
versus you don't.
And I think the city of Alleman can accommodate them if they have sick issues or whatever.
Absolutely. I called Bob before and say, I have to go, my mom needs help, and I don't even let him tell me no, so.
Okay, we'll call a shot here. Let's have Scott and,
Jenny is my name.
Bill.
You're like.
your name's right there. I know your name,
I'm
honey.
Jenny. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I know Jenny. It's right there, Jenny Heller.
And Bill.
And,
Bill.
Bill. Okay, Scott and Bill.
Make our mind up, Bob.
Scott and Bill.
Okay.
Meeting's adjourned. Come up with a proposal.
Scott, are you with